everyone, this is Sunghee again. I'm making a podcast series with music education specialists, including music teachers, academy owners, piano pedagogy specialists, and many others. I'm also planning to talk with examination boards and anyone who gets involved with music education, so we can discuss about the current situation with the music education, their struggle, and also get to just talk about music education and see where we are at. I hope that this can be useful for you guys, and I do enjoy a lot just chatting with people about music education. The first person that I talked with is Emma. She has a lot of years of experience, which she will introduce herself right now after this. And yeah, we just talked about topics of how to encourage students to practice, children under 10 years old, teenagers and adults, and the strategies that we can think of. I hope you enjoy.
So I originally come from Hong Kong, and then I moved to UK since 2001. So I've been living over 20 odd years. And I'm the founder of Amadeus Music Academy. So we are the two music tuition school, teach various instruments, and then we also teach piano as well. And then I'm also one of the piano teacher at Amadeus. So I've been teaching in Hong Kong a few years, and in England over 20 years now, various ages.
Perfect candidate to talk with. So yeah, that's us. So setting up the goals, and let's just talk about through how to motivate different ages. Like it's kind of going from like a younger ages to later older adult learners. So what do you do to motivate children? Let's say under 10 years old to start with.
Yeah. So let's say if under 10, for the little one, the approach with them is all has to be like a positive reward. I think let's just look at this two parts. So it's a teacher part and the parents part, and then the parents play a big role with the little one.
Oh yeah.
But start with as a teacher first. So as a teacher, first of all, you need to make them feel like they are not going to school, not like a chore. So it's the material we're learning now. It's all very much depends on what attract them. And like for myself, some students, they probably very little one, probably nursery songs, or some of them a bit older, and then they might not necessarily always like the songs they play. And a few things I would usually do, I can either change the music slightly to adapt to their way, probably their hands too small, or they just find it really awkward with certain fingerings. Or sometimes I just compose some music with them, let them lead me, and then play something they like to make, and then that will make the practice is more attractive. So it's very depends on the material, the lessons. And then also as a teacher, I think keep telling them to practice is completely not necessary because they know that. So I will usually just ask them, so, how was your week been? And so how much practice have you done? Then sometimes they look a little bit guilty straight away, and then I just laugh. So never really say, oh, you should practice how much and this and that and that. It just take the fun out of it. If sometimes they say, oh, I just do it once, Emma, I say that's great, more than nothing. Sometimes they say, oh, I'm a bit busy. I say that's fine. We just have fun with it. So the teacher, that is my approach anyway. And if you want to have a good bonding with the student, so it got to be a bit laid off with the practice. But at home, the parents really need to help out. They will need to, force is the wrong word, but they should be aware the routine with the child. They need to set the routine, even just 5 minutes. So 5 minutes a day, if you can do 5 days a week, 25 minutes actually quite a lot. But it's the routine of it. I'm doing my son is a really good example. So he, he just, I think probably as a mom, he doesn't like to listen to me.
Yeah, it's interesting that the dynamic between parents and children and teacher to children is different.
Yeah. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Kind of like less authority. But anyway, and so I will, every time before school, I will say, come on, James, let's just do some piano. And whenever they say they don't want to do it, never punish them to do anything. Should be saying, like I said, jump down, James, I don't want to do it, but Mummy. I would say, okay, then have 5 minute break first, and then we can do it a bit later. We kind of like, in a way, to maneuver his mood, and then to never allow him not to play, but without punishing him. And that is the role parents have to do. If sometimes they really don't want to do it on that day for any reason, you say, okay, then if you really don't want to do that, so tomorrow we're gonna have a little bit more time. Would you prefer do that, or would you like to do the 5 minute now? So let them make a choice. So by doing that, gradually they will have a routine of it. Like this morning, James didn't actually really want to play the piano. I say, don't worry, I know you don't like that song, and then we got to play one final time, then we don't do it anymore. And then he did it, even though just did it a few times. I would say, oh, you done really well, even though you don't like it. It's not easy to do something you find it difficult and still do it. So well done. So the parents has to be put the routine in and never punish them, no matter what. It's only reward. So, but parents play a big part. So that is, I would say, to encourage your children to learn, to practice
discipline.
What about you? Sunghee?
Yeah, so
For the little one,
I have like a list of songs like that. I ask them to write it down, and then we kind of choose the song that they want to learn. So that's the first thing, and then and then when we are like playing, and I'm like, I'm here to help you to practice, and we are practicing together, kind of, rather than like I'm trying to teach you something kind of vibe. Instead, I'm like, we are here together for you to practice. So you can bring this home and then do it on your own. So like I just like include these kind of comments, so they can at least like remind like how to practice. And then I do a lot of I record the lessons, like online, offline, quite often, so that they can bring it home and then practice with it. Yeah, I don't do that for jazz lessons, because jazz needs to be a bit more like you're on your own. Unless if it's like a routine of like patterns that you have to learn.
More freedom.
But then like you got to think, right? Whereas like the normal classical way of learning, it's more, I think, study of body movement, your body movement. So and then like again like under 10, it's I think the level of discipline, it needs to be built more in teenager times, like 10 plus, I think. But before 10 is like more enjoyment, and then build like a nice relationship with music. So it's enjoying part.
Totally.
And I think it always is important to kind of leave the student wanting a bit more of the lesson, rather than, oh, lesson finished already, kind of feeling. Then kind of when is it gonna finish, kind of thing.
Like keep watching the clock.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? So I tried to like vary a little bit. So okay, let's spend like just the next 10 minutes on this, and then after that let's go for this. So like okay, so there's next task, ongoing thing. And then we only have 5 minutes left. Let's get this done at least like before we go. And then when we done that, it's like okay. So there's like that time pressure. Like when you look at like a 1 hour, I think it's too long. But then when you like divide this, like okay, 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes, then it's like oh, already finished. And then when you practice, you can also compartmentalize, so that you don't just practice the thing that you want to practice. You can actually feel like, okay, I've done a bit of this. So it's like a building the routine on how to, when you sit down in front of the piano, for example, to do that, or like theory, then like, okay, so a bit of this, a bit of that. So I think it's important to just like dissect the lessons, maybe. So it's not so boring. I think we all like this
makes sense,
because like I think either children or adults nowadays, we got a bit of issue with attention. attention span. Anyway, like adults and children with all
Yes,
the
too much like
distractions.
TikTok and all the rest of it.
Everything.
That's why.
So yeah. So shall we move on to teenagers?
Teenager. Yes, now teenager is different, isn't it? I think they're old enough to understand it. And the most important thing is, why are they here to learn the piano? Yeah, if they know,
Quite philosophical. Isn't it? Why are we here? Why are we in this
yeah, what
earth?
brings you here? So I always ask the student, what brings you here? Is it your idea or parents' idea? If it's a parent's idea, then it can be a bit tricky. And again, it depends on their relationship as well, the mom, the parents and the child. But let's say just in general speaking. So for teenagers, a lot of time they probably want to play something they recognize or something look cool, So so you should just understand a student what exactly they like to play, and then or maybe set some sort of goal. So a lot of them, I think at that age, they tend to want to take
Exams.
Yeah, this is it. And then we have this conversation before with the new MBT. No, MTB, sorry. MTB,
exams.
the new
Did you
MTB
try?
exam. Yeah. Some of my students already starting, and then
It's nice, isn't it?
they love it. I say you can even compose a song, play your own song. They were so surprised, like you can do that.
Wow, so good.
I
I met
know.
like the founder of MTV Exams. He's also great. It's
Oh,
like
really?
yeah. It's basically it's MTV Exams is made by the teachers, so they know what's going on.
Yeah.
With
So
the students, like
so
immediate thing, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
the ABRSM and Trinity and all this, and I did submit a lot of exams, but I think the only issue is limited choices.
Yes.
That's in 21st century when we have all sorts of music to play
Yeah.
around and all sorts of distractions of all kinds. Yeah, it's
Yeah, but I think they did try to adapt to it, because with the performance grade, is the fourth song can be your own choice. Yeah, but yeah, one out of the four, at least one. So they have tried to adapt to it, So but obviously in comparison to the MTB, you can just do whatever you want as long as it's the right standards.
yeah. I mean, like
So
you got to have those scales, or you got to
yeah.
have those kind of you got to show your skills of appropriate techniques and use of expression, etc. Right?
Of
So I
course.
think that I think the only problem with MTV exams maybe could be that if you are not an experienced teacher, then it might be a bit more difficult to get involved,
Yes.
because you need to understand what it gets involved each grades.
Yeah.
And for me, teaching my students through the ABRSM Trinity was very helpful for me to understand what's the definition of grade 1 or what's the definition of grade 5. Oh, that's really has been very helpful for my teaching career as well.
It does help.
Yeah, because like in Korea and Spain, we don't have any grading system.
Oh, don't you?
No, it's very UK. It's a UK education system.
So how do you know where you are?
So I'm making a video about this the cultural differences between like music education differences between Korea, Spain, and UK. So yeah. Like in short, because otherwise I'm gonna be just reading the same thing. There is like in Korea there is like a piano 학원. 학원 is like a academy. So they are like I've done the research, and then there are like 40,000 piano 학원 in Korea, or something ridiculous.
Oh wow!
So like you would find that like so many of those.
Wow!
And it's like so you start from like a Bayer, which is like interesting because the way that they teach is like it's like old like a piano pedagogical books that written by the teachers at the time, like, and then Hanon also like a piano like a teacher pedagogy like all this. So they just brought this like a very old methods books and then go through that, which is kind of archaic, but they have really good like editorial like book publishing companies where they make those books more modern, like modernize those like method books to make it look nicer, and then. But then, yeah, it's interesting. Like, and after that, you would learn like a Chinese pieces.
Okay.
It's all like technique after technique after technique.
Oh.
And then you would have like some sonatinas and stuff in between.
So when, let's say you want to go to university in Korea, then how do they judge? Yeah, for music. So how do they judge where you are at? So you got no certificate. You had to just play it then.
It is an audition. So you would go to specialized high schools, like for arts, and then you would go to university after that. So you wouldn't kind of apply from normal high school to study arts, not so often. So you would go to that route of high school, like art high school, and then from there, and then to get into the art high school, you have to do auditions and exams and stuff. But yeah, it's like it's very unique to that like geographical area.
Yeah.
And then Spain is conservatorio. So I studied like a piano hagwon until when I was 9, and then in Spain they accept, like, I did the research, but I can't think of the top of my mind. Like it was 7 or 8, I can't remember. So you would start conservatorio, and then you can get in like in the midpoint as well, but then you need to do the exam. So I remember like I had to like go through like a few different teachers to the exam. So I think like a technical side of my level was okay. It's just there was no expression. So yeah, it's very different. So there's no grading system. So I think it's an opportunity for UK education to spread this, because I really like the fact that you know where you are roughly, and then where to aim at. What's the next thing that I could learn? So it's like a systematically.
Sense of goal.
Yeah. But also like it's a bit clearer, right? Like, okay, so to grade 4, I need to learn, let's say, like 4 sharps, 4 flats, and then it's like also like as a teacher, you know where you are at, where your students are.
Be clearer.
The best thing is, I think, the UCAS points.
Yes,
that's the best thing. That's why the parents encourage their kids to finish at
least grade 6.
Yeah, at least, yeah, right.
It does help.
It does help a lot, because there's no incentive whatsoever in Spain, so not so many people learn such way.
But so for teenager, sense of goal. And
we have a long way to go, Yama.
Yeah.
Did you see the things that I wanted to talk today? Maybe
I saw a list of them. I had to just cut that bit.
Yeah, off. I think we're gonna cut it.
Let's just come back. So what about you then? So how do you encourage your teenager to practice?
I mean, the same thing, like MTV exams, some like APSM, but yeah. I think when with the teenagers, I think we build a relationship of teacher-student, like a nice relationship in like as aunt.
Yeah, it's a bit like as a friends. After a while.
Yeah. Sometimes you kind of have to go like a shush, like it's lesson time. Let's do this. Enough stories.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Do you notice it? The teenager, they tend to respond better if you don't treat them like a kid. Tell them. What to do.
Yeah. You need to start respecting. Like, okay, so yeah. Oh, that's great. Kind of.
Yes.
But
set them like a reasonable goal, as much as like if. And try to understand,
but also challenging enough. It needs to be challenging enough. For me, it does. Yeah. I really enjoy when I can like jump grades with my students. It's like, I think you can do this. Yeah. And then I think they then get like this sense of ownership of the whole, like it's like a little project, right? We are working together and because it's a thing. Like, I think you show your weakness, right? So it's like there are like sometimes teenagers, like it depends on the character, but they go, really apologize. Oh, sorry. Like, whatever, they make mistakes. Like, okay, it's fine. This is your practice session. You got to make mistakes to
to learn.
Oh, to learn. So, but yeah, it's quite cute. It's really cute.
I know. I think, but then also besides the like sense of goal, like we discussed earlier, had to be something look cool. Like that
Oh
age,
yeah,
they want to
yeah.
pick something not too hard, but somehow had to look really cool.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's like that's why I think learning, being able to have the tune to actually like shine, like at this, like, okay, so go and play your tune. You can't go and play like Rachmaninoff and stuff. It's like, so you're gonna depress everyone. It's like,
Yeah.
like for non-musicians, like it's a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas like
it
if
is.
it's like, don't know, like this pop song of a kind,
Yes,
like
something
Massive
people can
Attack, it's like,
recognize.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, something they can recognize it. Like at one point, I think there is really famous River Flow in You.
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
you know my pieces. Oh, it's the
Yeah,
best. It's the
yeah.
best.
So many students. Oh well, I love this. It's quite easy songs to learn before because the pattern is there, isn't it? But songs like that, I think sometimes as a teacher, we have to be quite in touch with what is in trend.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then can sometimes they just know they want to look cool, but they don't know what songs to play. So it's our job to like, oh, why don't you try this? So they let them to show like not too easy or too hard, just the right level for them to learn it, but also look fancy to other people when the
cool,
student
cool is the
play it.
keyword.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that is one part can really encourage a student to practice. Actually, you don't have to tell them how to do it. They know what they should do anyway at that point. And the parents usually kind of quite lay off anyway.
Oh yeah, at that point. Yeah.
So just let them just get on with it. Just between the teacher, more likely between the teacher and the student.
Adult learners. Let's move on to adult learners.
Adults learner. I love adults learner because a lot of the songs they wanted to learn, I don't necessarily know. Like
Me too.
old fashioned the one. I don't know. 40s music, 50s music. I don't necessarily listen to all of them. So I love that regard. And then, but I think the main sort of like a concern they tend to have, they kind of feel like, oh, I need to learn 10 years to play the piano. I think that they somehow they kind of feel like they're not always going somewhere. They want to learn it really quickly. So I think that psychological sort of need to be adjust. I think they are right and wrong at the same time. So yes, of course, if you want to play up to like let's say grade 8 level, if you put it in grading, yes, it does take 10 years unless you practice. I don't know, 4 or 5 hours every day. They might shrink it down to 4 or 5 years if you can do that. I never done that.
Get rid of your job. Just practice piano.
This is it. This is it. So in a way, they are correct. You're looking at least 10 years, average speaking, to get to that sort of standard. But however, for them, so-called I can play piano, they don't actually really need grade 8 standard. A lot of the songs is actually, if you look 2, 3, they can pretty much can play songs they like to play. But I think that is the first thing they need to be clear about. Like you don't need 10 years because what you actually needed is just up to this level, which it will take a couple of years.
This is the reason why the grade is good, because it is a measurement.
Yeah, that's the same. Make it a bit more visualized, and people can see how it works. So if they can kind of see, okay, it's not that long time, I can actually achieve where I need to. It's just a couple of years, or maybe 3 years. There's a lot more achievable, and then just straight away they will feel like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
While they had it in 10 years. But also it depends on what they want. I think a lot of the my adult students anyway, don't tend to like to play classical music. They're not. A lot of them want to play what they, I don't know, maybe their childhood songs, or some of them play Beatles, or any sort of artist, or particularly like Ludovico Einaudi.
Is that the same thing as like when you choose to learn language, you wanna choose an active language rather than Latin?
fancy one.
I'm gonna learn Latin today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. So they want to do something they know. So again, I think as a teacher, if we can like see what they want to try to achieve. Let's say the ultimate goal. What is their ultimate goal? I think it's important. Let's say, I don't know, one of my students said, I always like to play Coldplay's music. So straight away we're going, okay, Coldplay, you just need grade 2 and 3 anyway. And then how they need to, then it's our job to like, okay, you need to get learn this sort of skill like improvisation. I think for adult students, if they don't have to read all the time, that will again encourage them to practice a little bit more as well. I do apologize, my dog is
That's fine.
barking.
Okay.
Oh
Uh,
dear. So good. So yeah, I think if you can, they see that. So and also set them a short task, a more manageable task,
mm,
because as an adult, got family, children, work, etc. Then they don't have. Now sometimes might not even have I don't know, half an hour a day. By the time you finish work, you get
yeah.
tired. You get tired. You want to sit down, have a
Mm,
drink.
yeah.
You just want to relax, watch a bit of TV or whatever. So good. I think we need to know where is their angle is, and then we can guide them to learn improvisation. Certain thing you can just do very simply. They can play a song
Mm,
they know in next couple of months time. But where I was talking about was like at the time. I
mm,
think what they need to do to realize just even sitting down for 5 minutes, maybe first thing in the morning, if they can do it.
mm,
If you can't do it, that's fine. And then if weekday is not good, have to be just Saturday, then once we understand their routine, then we need to set them like a manageable target
mm,
and make sure they can achieve it every week, and then they can see they can do it, rather than like, oh, I'm too busy, I will never get to that, even though just try to go grade 2 or 3. So the target we set had to be like, okay, I don't know, maybe not even a page, maybe just half of the page, and
mm,
that's all you need to do.
mm,
If they can reach that small target, small amount of like practice, that will encourage them practice a little bit more next time if they can
mm,
manage that. I think that is the key point, let them to see
mm,
it's not take so long, and then you don't need a lot of time to do it, and then it's our job to make it easy.
mm,
That makes sense.
mhm.
What do you think?
For me, adult learners know a lot more. Like just they know what takes what
They know
sounds
what they
good.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like it's like for children, it's like, oh, I don't know, kind of thing, right? So because they haven't exposed so much different variety of music,
Mm,
whereas like adults do. So the expectation is a lot higher already.
mm,
Yeah.
totally.
So and then another thing is, because you have been using your body as such certain ways,
Mm,
the way that you use your body kind of becomes a bit more so you tense your body a bit differently depending
mm,
on how you've been using your body.
mm.
And then I work a lot around that first.
Okay.
Or like playing, because like it's a body movement, so you need to
Mm.
kind of use the gravity, the weight of your arms. And for me, this is so important to start
Yes, it
with,
is. It
rather
is.
than
Just
this.
play it.
Because it becomes this when you,
Mm.
because you wanna get it done,
Yeah.
rather than feel it.
Yeah. They tense it up
So
straight
like
away, don't
close your
they?
eyes and then feel the keys. Like it doesn't really matter how slow you play, but
Mm.
then it's like it's explore. You need to explore what it is, rather than result. Unless if you have to play something for wedding or for your friend's wedding or whatever, you got goal
The
as like,
deadline. A
yeah,
deadline.
like an exam. Okay, so
Mm.
then I can just get on with it. But then
Mm.
usually with adult students, unless if those are like events that they would like to play for something, or
Mm.
they want to aim for like an exam, then yeah, and then the exam date is like next month. Okay, so let's do it. But then otherwise, I think it's more meditation kind of related, or yoga kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs to be more. It gives you a lot of profound teachings. Like you get a lot more than just learning piano. I think it's like a reflection of your body, and also like the language of music, and it's just so much of it. There's like a math
love
as
it.
well related to this.
Love it. Love it.
And it's like so much stuff that you can actually learn. So I think it's appreciating these kind of little bits on your own time, reflecting. Like it can be just like a very simple thing. You don't have to play. Like that's the thing, I think, whole point of it. But because we can only allocate certain time frame per day, we feel like in a rush. So that's the only thing. But if we can spread like a bit of time here and there, then it's better.
Mm.
Yeah, rather than like I need to practice
Whole
one
chunk,
like,
2
yeah, like,
hours.
oh yeah, things like that. Like
Mm.
5
It
10
is.
minutes. We like I don't know if there's like in English, like in Korean there's like a term basically. You know, like when you eat like they are like they sell fruits and vegetables at the like sometimes like shops where it has like a good there are basically
What is that? What is
like
that?
a leftover kind of like a fruit and veggies that it doesn't look like as supermarket grade kind of food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then like
Okay.
those kind.
Being
So
level for one.
you call it like those kind of state of like off time.
Okay.
So like a
Leftover time.
leftover time sort of thing. So like it could be like on you washing your dishes where you could maybe like listen podcast like or like these little bits of time that gets like
Yeah.
they are
Yeah,
and
they're
you can
there.
actually
You
use
just look for it.
yeah. So because I'm learning how to dance a bit like this sun dance thing like
Yeah, I
like
remember you
at
mentioned.
least like I kind of practice my like moves like
Yeah.
here and there. So if your piano is like just there accessible like straight away, then you could just like just play the melody, just like
Just
a
a little
simple
bit.
melody, right?
Couple
So
minutes, yeah.
yeah, it's just like or maybe just go and then go away. Like just like a little insert little bits of this like as part of life. And I tried to give like exercises, like the lifting 1 and 3, turn 4, all these things.
Yeah.
Oh, it was this one kind of thing.
Just do it on the table.
Yeah. This can be always done like in
Yeah.
places. It doesn't have need. So I try to ask adults to use this kind of time to just remind your brain how to gain the dexterity and independence of fingers, finger
Control,
movements. It's like a second brain apparently. Hands.
It's funny.
Yeah. I think we talked about enough today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
But you need to wrap up.
Yeah. Thank you for talking with me today. It was great. And
It's fun. Thank you.
yeah, we just have so much fun just talking.
We talk too much sometimes.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about like the different things next time and see how it flows.
Definitely.
Great.
Okay then.
Well,
Thank
you
you.
take care, and I will see you next time.
See you again. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.